Okay, this video is going to be about how to do a loading bar for your game and also make a favicon for your game. And one other thing, two other things would be how to do a cell door where it's kind of transparent, where you can see you can see through the door. And one last thing will be like a heated pit, where you run across a heated pit and you get hit and you may die. So let's begin here. This is the first thing I'm talking about, is a loading bar. I created this image in Photoshop. You can use other editor programs or Photoshop programs to create this, but it's just a single image and the size of it, and I'll give you the dimensions in the description on YouTube, but also this right here I'll tell you what the dimensions are. The dimensions are, the width is at 331, the height is 91 pixels, resolution 72. So that's basically what you need to know on the width and height to make your loading bar. That's the size that you need to make it for Game Maker 8.1. Any bigger, it's not going to show up. It's got to be that certain size. And then in Game Maker, you go to your change global game settings, and then you go to loading, and you change it right here. So you add that loading image right here, so you change it there and grab your image. And next I'll talk about the game icon. Now this game icon, you cannot just add an image there. It has to be a favicon icon, which is a ICO icon, I believe. It's got to be that extension on the end of it. So I'll show you how to do that. So same thing, go into Photoshop and you create your favicon image. This image is going to be 45 width, height is 41, 72 pixels. And then once you create that as a ping image, I would probably keep it as a ping image, PIN image, or a JPEG. Then after that, once you have it on your desktop, go to the web, which is I created my this is my website, searcharena.wordpress.com, and then you can go into making and playing games. And my internet's being slow. Alright, so you go to making and playing games, then you go down to X icon editor, I'll give you all these links in the description. And what you do is you just go into, you click on the import button, and then you bring in your image, upload it, then it shows your icon there, and then you just basically press OK, then you just export it, and then it creates a export icon. Save it, open it up, so basically it's right here. It's a Favicon. You don't have to change the name there, but once you have your Favicon and you drag it to your desktop, and then you can go into Game Maker 8.1, go into the global settings, and then you can change your icon here. Then it'll pop up, because it won't work if you try to change your icon with a PNG file or JPEG. It won't accept that. You have to make sure it's a Favicon. It's got to be called Favicon, and you have to go through those that site that I just showed you, and then you're able to change your icon in Game Maker 8.1. And the Favicon, I'll show you in a minute here. Well, first it'll load up the load bar. I'll show you that. I just showed it. See, there it is right there, loading. And then your icon, your favorite icon's right here. So that's your Favicon icon right there. That's what that is. And it just showed the load bar where it should fake 3D maze. Alright, and then this last part I'm going to show you, well, there's two more parts to this, is this door right here. See how it's open right there at the top where you can see through it? So, I mean, it's a door where you can't get into it until you have a key, but see how it's transparent at the top? You got that big box at the top, how it's open. You can see right through it. I'll show you how to do that. And then, see that pit right there? I'm going to show you how to make that happen, how to design that. And then you're going to go over top of it and you're going to die. And you're dead. So let me show you those two things. Alright, first the door. I just basically did a background and I just imported a PNG image. So I basically went into Photoshop. New. Well, basically it's just a it's just an image, and it's a PNG image. Well, it's not really. So I just basically cut this out, or created my door basically in Photoshop. You can use other programs to do that, and then you cut out the door. And see how it's transparent. And then I just saved this out as a PNG file. Go to File, and then I saved as, and just called it door, and then changed the format to PNG, PIG, which means that the image can be transparent if you have an area where it's cut out, and that's what this is cut out right here. So once you save it out as a PNG file, it's this right here is cut out of the image, and it's called a PNG file, and then it's kind of transparent because this right here is open right here. And then you just load it into Game Maker 8.1, and you have a transparent square inside there, so you can basically see through it when you play the game. So, and then it's just basically it's just a regular door. And the door is called Cell Door. And right here, see, it's called Cell Door. So it's treated as a background image from GameMaker, but it's also treated as a ping file, which makes things transparent if you have things cut out. And that's what I have in the window of the door, is cut out. So you can see right through it when you play the game. And I just showed you that a minute ago. So that's that. And then the last thing is going to be this fire pit. This fire pit is just an image that animates, and I made the walls very tight around the circle there, because if you have too much gap space around the image, GameMaker is going to make the image smaller for some reason, and for when this happens in 3D, it makes the image smaller. So make sure you tighten up all the corners of the image so you barely see anything around. You see anything barely around the circle. Make sure that it's tightly around. You go into the scale and make sure to adjust the image so it's tightly around the frame of the image, because if you have too much gap space around the image, game makers will make the image smaller. For some reason, it's not going to be the true size of the image when you look at it in the 3D game. Alright. And it's kind of jumping there a little bit because I kind of cropped it a little bit in this image right here. There we go. So that's the first step. And then I just have it set to visible, do a draw in the add event, then do a coded sheet. And it's basically, it's the same code as you would use for like your ammo or whatever. It's the same code pretty much here, where no matter which direction you're going in, the image is going to follow the character so it looks 3D. But the difference here is you don't, in this area right here, do not don't put the object name in here. You want to put the sprint name in, because if you use the object name, it's not going to give you the true image of what you created in the sprint. Because when you change it to fire pit, it will highlight, but when you play the game, it's not going to show you the true image. It's going to be a red object. See how it's red? And you don't want that, because that's not the true image animation. So make sure that it's called the sprint name, which is sprint 61. And also I changed the numbers here. I changed the coordinates right here. This was 0. I changed the 2, left these at 9, and basically it rotated the image where it's flat on the ground, and that's what you want. You want it to make it look flat, because that's what it's like a fire pit, so it needs to be flat, flush on the ground. So that's why this number is 2 and the top is at 0. If you change this 2 to 0, then it's going to rotate upward where it looks like it's going to be standing up, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's flat. So I changed the number to 2 I changed this number to 3 and 4, and it didn't look right. I think it squeezed it too thin, and it kind of rotated it up more. So 2 is the correct number, where you want to have the image flat on the ground and, you know, walk across it as a pit. So this is the true coordinates you need it to be at. 2 at the bottom and 0 at the top, and then the y's minus and plus is 9, and then the x minus and plus is at 9 as well. And basically this code is basically just talking about how it's going to make it like a wall where it's straight up and down, but you kind of modify it where it's going to be flat on the ground, because that's how you want it to be set up for this pit. And then the other information up here, the point distance direction, is talking about the rotation. When the character moves around the image is going to follow the character so it looks 3D. And that's it. Oh, one more thing. You also have to go into the player object for both the object and player. Make sure you set a collision with the fire pit, and then you have the health set to like -2 and set it to relative. You could change the health to like -20 or whatever, but if you go right over it slightly, you're gonna lose a lot of health. So I would keep it at a low number, and then also make sure you do a collision with the object player as well, because remember I talked about how when you go to the second room, you're going to change object player to end player, and end player has to have the same attributes as the object player in the first room. So like I said, with make sure you collide with the fire pit, and then you reduce his health down to -2. Make sure it's set to relative, and that's it. Thanks for watching.